with our students. What is their perception of their knowledge? What background knowledge do they feel like they have before we go into a lesson? And then we can gauge if their perception was accurate. And you can do it at the end of a lesson and gauge how well students feel they mastered the concepts and see if that matches what you believe and what you saw. So it looks like we've got some 2s and 3s, so that's pretty good. So we have another aspect of this warm-up that Gladys is going to lead us in.
Okay. Here's a story. There's a traditional African story that goes a bit like this. A mighty lion in the African savannah once caught the mouse. The terrified mouse pleaded for its life, promising to repay the lion's kindness someday. The lion laughed at the thought of a mouse ever being able to help him, but let her go. Later, the lion was caught in a hunter's net. No matter how much he struggled, he couldn't free himself. The mouse, hearing his roars, recognized the sound and came to his rescue. She began to gnaw on the net, and eventually, with the persistent effort, she chewed through it, freeing the lion. The lion, now free, was amazed. He remembered the mouse's earlier promise and realized that even the smallest creature can be a great help. From that day on, the lion and the mouse became friends. Understanding that kindness, no matter how small, is never wasted. We found that as we built the inclusive practices at our school, sometimes it's the smallest things that makes the biggest difference. So wherever you start, we hope there will be something that you take from this presentation that will help you on your journey. Don't feel overwhelmed at the size of the problem or feel that you are too small to make difference.
So we have 3 objectives for this session. For the ability to define 2 to 3 high leverage practices. We said 2 to 3, depending on time. And then apply those targeted high leverage practices across 3 perspectives: teacher preparation, administrator, and teacher. And then we'd like for you to determine a takeaway that you could take into your context. So with that, if you don't already have some type of recording device, whether it's your phone or a laptop or tablet, to type notes or pen and paper or pencil, we'd like for you to have that ready. So as we go through our session, we have stopping points for some takeaways. So for those unfamiliar with high leverage practices, you can go to highleveragepractices.com, and I sure hope it's .com and not .org, but I think it is .com. To learn more, that's like the one-stop shop for all things high leverage practices. The redesigned practices go from having 4 categories of high leverage practices just listed 1 to 22, and have rearranged them into our pillars. So we still have 4 domains. They've been renamed a little bit. And then we have our 6 pillars with then embedded HLPs under those pillars. So the embedded are still important, but they relate back to the pillars and support those pillars. So we're focusing on HLP 1, collaboration with professionals to increase student access. HLP 7, establish consistent, organized, and responsive learning environments, which are both pillars. And then HLP 16, which is also a pillar, use explicit instruction. So in HLP 1, for collaboration, when we're thinking about collaborating with professionals, so our school personnel that we might have available to us that have varying areas of expertise, with the goal to what? have a friend to talk to during class, to increase student success, right? So our collaboration isn't to go get chai after school and just talk about the weather, but it's to collaborate to increase student success. And when I think about my teacher candidates and what is the bare minimum I want them to understand about HLP1 when they leave our program, I want them to understand the definition of collaboration, to understand that it's not only co-teaching, although co-teaching is an important part of collaboration, but it can also be a variety of other ways of working with our colleagues. Why do we collaborate? Basic answer is we can't possibly know everything. And our colleagues help us to understand aspects of education that we don't have a deep understanding of. Who can we collaborate with? Who are those resources that we can collaborate and glean information from? And then what types of collaboration exist, which would also include co-teaching. So if my candidates can leave our program understanding this and experiencing collaboration in their field experience, then when they go to April to be interviewed, she feels a little more confident in the fact that she's hiring teachers who have a basic understanding and some buy-in to collaboration, and then can do it with less training than what they need currently.
So as an administrator at Hope, in order to support collaboration, and with my background being in special education, one of the first things that was important to me was to create shared expectations, that it is an expectation at Hope that teachers are working together. And it's not about who has the highest degree, it's about working together for positive student outcomes. We spent time teaching the various models for co-teaching and such, so that all teachers were aware of this and were expected to do it. I require co-planning. They have to let me know when that is, and I might pop in to make sure that that's happening. We've provided templates and such so that they have an outline for how to interact during co-planning with co-teachers. And in addition, I guess in other collaborative areas, we do have PLCs for both subject areas and grade-alike groups, so that they're collaborating in that way. And then I'm in the classrooms and giving feedback to the teachers and to pairs of teachers, every now and again helping through some conflict resolution to make sure that it continues in a positive manner. And now I'm going to hand it over to Gladys to share some of the things on collaboration from a teacher point of view.
Okay, for us what we do is we share, shared ownership. So both teachers take same responsibility for all kids. I help other kids, and the teacher helps the main student that I'm there for. It's not like behavior for my student is only dealt by me, and likewise, I remain willing to work with other students. So there is also space. Student never has to go through me to get to a teacher or to a peer. Even, or maybe, especially at recess, this is important. I'm always very aware. The main student I work with has been known to run out of the school campus and such. But I also give him plenty of space for him to interact and only intervene is necessary. And make informal planning easier. I show up and help with morning task. I stay after school and chat and more. So we find other natural times other than co-planning So to have informal conversations and share ideas together about how to help all students. So not just a teacher in class. So when I'm stamped, I'll use all the resources at the school, and they all willing to share. I might go to a teacher of a different level or even a leader for an idea or a research when we reach a plateau or need a new idea for a skill for the student.
So now if you would take your recording device, whatever that is, and take a moment to think about a takeaway for collaboration with professionals to increase student success from high leverage practice, or HLP 1. And then we'll go on to HLP 7, environment. And I apologize for my throat and my cough. Either Tanzania is sad that I left or Kenya hates me. I'm not sure which. Every time I'm in Kenya and come from Tanzania, I get sick every time I'm in Kenya. So I'm going to go with Kenya loves me, but Tanzania is sad that I left. So I apologize, we have a slow connection. We had closed captioning at one point, and now we've lost it, so I'm sorry for that. Okay, with your takeaway, let's move on and look at establishing a consistent, organized, and responsive learning environment. This one HLP could have been the entire conference. We think about this in part as classroom management, our classroom climate, our culture. It could also be extended to school climate and school culture. And what's the number one challenge that most every teacher reports, especially at the beginning of their career? Exactly, and managing all the things. So when I actually teach this class, teaching it in the fall, and when I think about what could I boil down to the bare minimum, these are 4 really big bullet points with lots of content to it. But what does it look and sound like to be consistent, organized, and responsive as a teacher, and with the way that the climate and culture of the classroom is designed, and even the physical environment of the classroom? If I have students that have a wheelchair or have crutches or have AAC devices, how do I manage the space? And then training on clear rules, routines, procedures, and expectations, along with being consistent in enforcing those and being fair. But fair doesn't mean everyone gets the same thing. Fair means everyone gets what they need. So there might be a time when a procedure isn't followed exactly the way it's supposed to be, and I can be okay with that because of a need a particular student has. And then I'm going to assume nothing, and I'm going to teach everything. How many of us train teachers in how to teach content? We train teacher candidates in how to teach reading, how to teach writing, how to teach math, science, social studies. How many of us teach how to take turns with a game? Oftentimes, I'm glad to see some hands, but oftentimes we don't think about teaching behavior. And if a student isn't performing in a way that we want them to socially, it might be that they just don't know or they haven't been reinforced enough. So we want to teach everything. And then we also want to provide that feedback, which is also HLPs 8 and 22.
And if my teachers came to me understanding that, I would be so happy. I try to do that as an administrator too, in my expectations, but I do find that I spend a lot of time training behavior strategies. What we expect at our school is not similar to what happens at a lot of East African schools. So we spend a lot of time training behavior strategies. It's one of the trainings that we've actually videotaped so that every single teacher that comes has a good idea of the strategies that we expect to be used, and they use that. Every student, every day, gets some non-contingent positive attention from our teachers. Our teachers are at the gate, greeting them with handshakes, high fives. They greet them as they walk in the room, just to build that positive interaction. We also build in fun. You've been in Kenya a few days now, and you know the role that music plays. So every Friday we have some music playing during recess, lunch, snack, all of those times. Also, we've been kind of creative to use that in solving problems that related to running everything smoothly. So one challenge for us was a difference in understanding of time and wanting to make sure that instructional time was used well throughout the school day. And so especially as our older students got to where they changed classes, we needed those transitions to run smoothly. And we tried an organized schedule and a silent transition type idea, but there was always a lot of instructional time lost. So we ended up creating a system whereby when we want to change classes, a song starts playing. And when that song ends, you better be in your seat and ready to go. It was much more culturally appropriate than these bells that are very startling, and it just contributes to the fun there. But just an example of something we've done there that does that. And then when I decided to join Hope, one of the first things I noticed was that they'd started to build their grounds for inclusion with ramps and stuff, and I was like, yep, this is probably a place I want to be. But we're a rather new school. This was just our 13th year last year, and so we're constantly building, and so I'm always thinking about building it in such a way that it will be welcoming for every student, no matter what their abilities or disabilities may be.
So we celebrate inclusion, start with kids when they are young, talk about my student's specific disability and eventually other disabilities. Also becomes more than a day, something that is discussed more than that. So we have routines and organization. I see that routine being consistent helps students with disabilities know what to expect throughout the day and increase their independence. Another example will be that it is customary to not wear shoes in a classroom, but from an organizational and accessibility viewpoint, organizing the shoes is also something we teach so that the paths remain accessible for students with various mobility needs, such as wheelchair users and such. So we also teach fair play. This is a social skill we have worked a lot on. We have worked on things like turn taking, being okay when he doesn't win or things don't go in his way, not having to be in a game the whole time. At the same time, it can be also advocating that the value isn't placed only on winning, and that he should have access to sports and other things he loves, even as the teams grow competitive.
So now if you would take a moment and record a takeaway from HLP 7. And as we suspected, we do not have time for HLP 16, but you do have access to our slides. And if you have any questions, we will be happy to answer those later or via email. We are at about 15 seconds to our 25 minutes, so we won't do a turn and talk to be respectful of our next colleagues. But if you do need to get in touch with us or want to, we would be thrilled. So you have our email addresses there as well. And I want to thank April and Gladys for presenting with me. And Gladys in particular, it's her very first presentation, and she did a fantastic job. So her first conference and her first presentation, and I loved being able to include her perspective in this presentation. So thank you to Gladys. And next up are our colleagues over to my right.
All right, good morning, everyone. Good morning. First of all, thank you to our previous presenters for that thoughtful presentation. That was amazing. We only have 25 minutes, so we are going to try our best, but it is my honor today to introduce this presentation. It's called Kenyan Special Educators Professionals Development Journeys, 2 Narrative Case Studies. So on the screen, you're going to see myself. My name is Danica. I am a postdoctoral researcher from the University of Central Florida. I am also a BCBA by trade, and I am accompanied with today Juliet and Martha, who are both my research assistants, and they also work with children with special needs here in Kenya. Martha starting as a special education teacher, and Juliet, and now they're both behavior therapists. And I had the awesome opportunity to travel to Kenya in 2023 with an organization called Global Autism Project. And literally, this is when I got to meet them. And with the organization, they're like, where do you want to go? And I was like, Kenya. So I came here to Nairobi, Kenya, and it was absolute divine timing that we were able to meet. But I wanted them to share their stories with you guys today, because I think it's so important while we're here in Kenya to hear from the locals and understand not only their experiences, but also some of the barriers or the challenges that they may experience. So I'm going to pass the microphone to them. They're going to let you know each of their stories, and then at the end, we'll open it up for questions. And this is some pictures from the trip that I took in 2023.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Juliet, and I am an applied behavior analysis technician, that's an ABAT, and I want to share my journey from a childhood dream of working with children to currently pursuing my passion in applied behavior analysis and autism support. So I have always had a passion for working with children, and I pursued my undergraduate degree in psychology, thereby having to draw my entire foundation in my career in psychology. So in 2021, I came across a post online with an organization called Kaizora, and I was very intrigued after I saw it. Thereby, I applied for the opportunity, and I found myself really interested in trying to understand what the organization was all about. So the organization involved working with children on the autism spectrum disorder, and through the learning and partnering up and collaborating with other therapists, I was able to immerse myself in a lot of the ABA department. So I volunteered for 3 to 4 months, whereby I was able to observe other therapists, learn from other therapists, and also try to understand what it meant to work with autistic children. I have to be honest with you, at first it was very scary because it felt like a dump of information that I was not able to understand, and I tried a lot to process it, being a first-timer working with special needs children. But I kept remembering a word that my supervisor told me: you have to learn to build rapport with your client. Yes, so this is just Kaizora, and to share just a bit about Kaizora, it's an organization that works with neurodevelopmental children, thereby running therapy sessions, from occupational therapy sessions, speech sessions, and also special needs therapies. So the most important lesson that I picked from even working with the children is that when it comes to working with autism, there is no one size fits all. So different clients use different techniques. Thereby, even as a therapist, I have to ensure that I understand what my client needs and the kind of person that I need to be, so that I give my clients the best of the services that I offer. So my personality as an ABAT keeps changing with the clients that I work with, and this just helps me unlock their potential and also connect with them. So I receive these questions from so many parents who ask me, will my child ever be normal? Will my child ever talk? Will my child ever look like the other children and, you know, be independent and get all these skills going? But I keep thinking to myself and trying to understand that this question comes from a point of fear, and it comes from a point of them trying to be so scared of what the future holds for their children. But the goal is not for us to make anybody normal, but the goal is for us to ensure that children are being treated with respect, and we are also being able to understand that the world they're living in, and helping them just thrive in their own unique ways. Can I tell you something? What you're taught in school is very different from what you experience in the practical setting. So ABA is really good, and you get a lot of these theories and information, but when you work practically, you get to understand the beautiful part of ABA, the challenging part, and also the most rewarding part that comes with working with children on the autism spectrum. That is why I have made a conscious decision to start applying for different master's opportunities to enhance my skills in ABA and also focus on assisting my community back in Kenya. So here in Kenya, we face a lot of challenges, and some of them include the accessibility. We don't have as many therapy centers, so parents have to travel far and beyond to look for their therapies. And then we also have economic constraints, whereby parents are not able to afford some of the services. Some children also require special diets, and then also just even commuting from one place to another to get the access of the services as well. So we have inadequate healthcare infrastructure, whereby some therapists are not certified, others are not well trained. So when it comes to them running therapy sessions, you find that children are misdiagnosed or get missed diagnoses. And then there's also lack of specialized education programs. In school setups, we've noticed that some children do not have individualized education plans, which are very important for the foundation of their growth and development, even in school setups. Probably we could also have special exams for children on the spectrum, so that we also focus on the skills that they can acquire and focus on their strengths. So, moving forward, my philosophy is very simple, the whole child approach. Here, it's more of understanding that we're not looking at just disability, we're looking at the whole child approach. What are some of their strengths? What are some of the things that they can do to make themselves better in our community and in our society? So basically, that is by ensuring that we look at each individual's potential, we celebrate their small wins, and we look beyond their diagnosis. And this is because many children on the spectrum have so many strengths and abilities that if we would focus on what they can do, unlike what they do not have, we would make them, we would make our society a better community where we include all children. My mission today is clear, and it is basically to bridge the gap between academic theory and the real life practice. So this is by advocating more resources to teachers, training parents, training teachers, and also training other professionals so that they're also aware of what it means to work with children. And then also help parents understand that children are complete and worth just the way they are. And this is my mantra, which we'll be focusing on. Every child with autism is worthy of our best efforts, our understanding, and our unwavering belief in their potential. So thank you so much for listening to me, and I'll give the microphone to my friend.
Good morning, everyone. So my name is Martha Adhiambo Oele. I go by Adhiambo Oele. I am a special educator and a qualified autism service practitioner, supervisor trainee. So what I do is I train teachers, I train caregivers, parents on matters of autism and just how to relate with their children and just how to live in the society. So I'm going to take you through my journey as a special educator, my unexpected journey into this field. So when I graduated high school, I wanted to train as a pharmacist. I wanted to become a pharmacist. But then now we applied for schools, and the Kenyan government was like, you are going to do special education. So that's how I found myself into special education. So I didn't take it as something that is so bad. Yes, I was disappointed, but at times life gives you lemons, you make lemonades, and at times you just want to throw the lemons to them. So that is what we did. We made lemonade. So in school, I did hearing impairment and learning disabilities. And so that is what I knew I was going to do. But going into the field, one day in 2018, I got an application that we need to go volunteer for autism awareness in Bomas of Kenya with Kaizora, where, by the way, I work. So I went there, and I was like, I don't know anything about autism. Whatever we were taught in school is what I know. So we went there, and I got to meet the most amazing team ever. So the therapist, the BCBA then it was BCBA. We didn't have QBA then. So I got to understand how they worked with people with autism, and I was like, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. Because how they explained it and just how they related with children, it was completely different from what I know about intellectual disabilities and autism. So that was my aha moment. Okay, moving forward. So during my work as a special educator and a behavior therapist, I've gotten to confront some cultural challenges in that in Kenya, you find that our societies are not as accepting as we think they are. So we have some societies that think that autism is a curse. It's like it's karma or just something else. It's not as scientific as we think. And we are going through some challenges in that some children are taken from school and are taken to some very traditional practices which are not scientifically proven, or they cause more harm than good. But then now we have to keep educating the family, we have to keep educating the society that as much as this is what is happening, the signs and the symptoms can be managed, and this person who's autistic, we can still get to, can be independent and can be part of the society. So So I decided to become an advocate of autism. So wherever I go, whatever I do, I'll be like, hi, my name is Martha, I'm a special educator. And the first thing I get to know, when I say that, people always like, so do you work with, or do you know, the sign? And I have to be like, no, I work with autism. So when someone doesn't understand what autism is, that is when I try and explain to them what autism is. So I have to keep advocating for that. I have to keep spreading awareness wherever I go. So fighting societal changes, that is something that I still keep doing, because other than that, we're just going to keep causing harm, and we're causing harm to autism, and we're causing harm to the science that has been developing some very amazing strategies to deal with the science. So community education. So in Kenya, most schools have autism units. They have deaf units. So we try and think that schools in Kenya are inclusive, but in real sense, they're integrated. The difference between an integrated school and an inclusive school is in Kenya, it means that integrated school is you're taking your child who's autistic or has ADHD or has different disabilities, and you're taking them to that school, and you're thinking that is better. But inclusive means their needs are being met. So wherever you are, you have to ask yourself, is your school inclusive or integrated? Cultural and linguistic diversity. So in Kenya, we have 42 tribes. All these tribes have their own cultures. So whatever I do as a special educator, whatever I do as a behavior technician or behavior therapist, I have to adopt it to a different culture, so that when I'm told that this child is coming from this community where they eat with their fingers rather than their spoon, I have to train them on how to use their fingers first. The other thing is changing perceptions. So changing perception is, you have to change perception of an individual person. You go to families, you change their perception. You're like, don't lose hope. We're still good. You know, like your child is still good. This is who we have, so this is what we are going to do. And you have to keep changing perception. Teachers, you go to schools, you change perception. Everyone else, you have to keep learning. You have to keep teaching them. And so I have an impact, or rather, what I've been doing. So what I do is I train other professionals in current autism intervention techniques. And I educate families about neurodiversity and acceptance. I advocate for policy changes in education settings. And I challenge cultural stigmas through community outreach. Keep building networks of support for families affected by autism. And so what I plan to do in the future is I'm applying actually for schools for masters in ABA. Anyone who has connections, please. The other thing is I plan to open my own center in Kenya when I get my certification, so that I'm making sure that whatever service or whatever knowledge I have, I keep giving to my fellow Kenyans who need it. And lastly, I want to ensure that whatever we are doing is up to the standards. We are giving quality, and also the quality that we are giving, we make sure that it doesn't affect any person who's autistic or any person with a disability that we can help. So I just wanted to share my journey and just to see what contributions you can make in your community, and for the affected community, what could you also do? So a couple of questions. When you go back wherever you are, to my Kenyan teachers or just anyone else, I want you to ask yourself, is your school integrated or inclusive? And at the same time, how can you support advocates like me in our own community? And how can you bridge the gaps between research and practice in your own fields? And lastly, how can you each become agents of positive change for vulnerable populations? That's it. Thank you so much.
Wow, that was amazing. You guys can go back to the stage. Thank you so much for sharing your journey with us. So it looks like we got 4.5 minutes. So if anyone had any specific questions for them, this is the time that you could ask. It could be about their journeys, their experiences. We just wanted to open the mic up. Coming. I'm coming.
Wow, let's applaud them again as I ask my question. Now, my question is this. You are doing an amazing job, but I'm going to ask from an educator's point of view, what, for sustainability purposes, can you tell us educators should be done right? So that in the next 10 years, we don't have a scenario where we are still having a few of us working so hard, and yet you can use the whole society to change something in the nation. Thank you.
Who wants to take the question? Martha?
Did you ask what sustainable change? I think this also goes to the policy makers as well, because we are finding that our education system, be it CBC or CBE, it's not as inclusive as we think. So what we can do is we can only be whatever we want to be. We can only help wherever we want, because for now the policy doesn't include all that. So as a Kenyan teacher, you can just make sure that your class is as inclusive as possible.
And just to add on that, I also believe that doing a lot of trainings for teachers and also like the community at large probably would also enhance like people understanding what it means to work with like children on the spectrum. So probably having more trainings and even more, even more like workshops where teachers can go and get the experience that they require to even fully facilitate and cater to the needs of the children.
Thank you, ladies, and thank you for the question. We have time for one more. Oh, here we go. You can meet me halfway.
Thank you. Thank you for that very good presentation. My name is Daniel. I'm a teacher trainer at Kenya Institute of Special Education. One of the key issues you raised is that what we are taught in school is very different from the experience outside. In your own view, because then you are trained as teachers probably, one of you, what is your view? What change in teacher training would you advise from your experience so that then we can tweak it as teacher trainers so that it fits what is right outside there?
Thank you. Great question.
I believe that if we would also try and maybe even bring teachers to the real settings. For example, if you're talking about like a theory or something, say assuming a theory about probably managing behavior, maybe we could also get the teachers to go and try in like the real setups whereby they get like supervision and then they can try like apply the theory that they are getting from school in the natural setup so that it also makes sense and it ties down between the theory and the practical aspect.
To add on that, whatever we train in school, right now it has to be for us. We can't take something from America and thinking that it can be applied in Kenya. We have to make it ours. And whatever we do has to be, it has to be evidence-based so that whatever that has been outdated, we have to remove it from the field so that we are not causing harm and whoever we are training is up to the standards of whatever we are training. You get?
Awesome. Anyone else have 1 minute to spare? Anyone else? All right. Well, thank you. Oh, here's a hand.
I want to applaud the two presenters. I think you've done great, given us the two narratives. And as an advocate of autism, we've talked about fighting societal challenges. What are these strategies that you have put in place to ensure that you confront the barriers at the community level?
The strategies we are doing is just continuing educating people that autism is not, it's not an inability. It is there, and we have to embrace it as it is. We have to embrace the differences that we have. And by that, now we have to keep educating the society on what autism is and what is expected, and what the autistic community also expect of us. Because we have self-advocates who've been speaking so much about what has been going through, what has been going in the society since time immemorial, and it's still going on. So we just have to keep educating the society.
Oh, and just to add a little bit about that is ensuring that we also bring more advocates, like children, to advocate for themselves. So for example, sometimes parents are scared of taking children to public places, but the more we encourage the parents to keep taking them to places, and people see exactly what it looks like for someone with autism to be in the natural setting, I believe it also gives people a perspective, oh, okay, this is how this child behaves, and it is okay. And through that, you also get to teach people around you, because people may ask you questions like, why is the child crying? And you also take up that opportunity to try and teach the community as well. Like it's, yeah.
Thank you, ladies. All right, so can everyone please give a huge round of applause to Juliet Wachira and Martha Ariambo Oele. Thank you, ladies, for sharing your story with us. We are out of time, so thank you guys for joining us, and enjoy the rest of the conference today.
Let's take a quick picture.
This is the extra one. There's one up there. It's the extra one. Thank you so much.
Forgot my adapter.
Whew, we made it. Oh, that should say day 4. There we go, day 4. I wasn't wrong. Okay. So we're going to start out, and we have some guest speakers, and we have Dr. Wamakuru, who is going to, I believe, introduce our guest speakers. You want to come up?
Greetings, colleagues. We are happy we are coming to the end of our conference. It has been engaging, it has been fruitful, and we have all learned and created new networks, and we believe that we'll come up with new partnerships in this particular space. We are honored among amidst us. We have a representative from the State Department of Research, Science and Innovation. We have Dr. Daniel Karaja, and also accompanying him is Dr. Don Gadi. We have an apology from the Egerton fraternity is well represented here. And because of time, I want to request the Dean, Faculty of Education, Egerton University, who is one of us, Dr. Feather, to come and invite the representative of the PS State Department of Science, Research and Innovation. Karibu, Dr. Feather.
So thank you so much, and once more, good morning. It's my pleasure this morning to really thank each one of us in this room, outside this room, for the wonderful engagement and week we've had. Dr. Feather Flora, I'm the Dean, Faculty of Education and Community Studies. But today I'm representing my Vice Chancellor. Quite a number of activities are ongoing. For those who are from Kenya, we are having the Nakuru Agricultural Show, and there is expectation of other visitors there. So the VC was expecting to close the national Nakuru show there and come here. So I told him there is no problem, I'll actually represent him. So his message of goodwill is to bring the gratitude to all our diocese guests. And when I bring the gratitude, then I begin with my special thanks based on protocol to say thank you so much, our representative PS for the State Department of Science, Research and Innovation. And the reason why I was requesting Diocese Rebecca that this moment is so key for us, you have given us so much in our interaction, and as you are going to leave, we are going to have one key question. With all that we have received, what next? And what next is we are going to do a lot of collaborations, and we are going to expect the State Department of Research to be able to assist us, especially where we are going to be stuck with international or internal funding. They'll be there for us. So I asked diocese board members to allow us invite these special members from, yesterday we had Ministry of Education, and today we are having representative of Department for Science, Research and Innovation. And Also from the VC's perspective, he's saying, for you to begin a great journey like this in Kenya, it is unforgettable. And therefore, his hope and wish is, with the time, he's going to see quite a number of collaboration where quite a number of you can be able to do this with Egerton University. Again, from his remarks, he says, we give the special thanks to all the deans of education in Kenya who were able to also make it to this particular session, the Faculty of Education and Community Studies of Egerton University, because after this, it's our expectation that you are going to run this. Special thanks from the VC is to the KISE team. And Dr. Sanoi, you're going to take us our best wishes, because again, from what we have learned here, it's the VC's expectation that he's going to see more collaboration between the universities in Kenya and KISE, so that all the issues we are seeing raised here, we can be able to manage it. And if you were able to follow keenly, the challenge from day one up to today is that we can have the best teachers for special needs, but are we doing it right? That is the last question he's asking. Are we doing it right? How can DISES assist us to do it right? How can KISE assist us to do it right? And to do it right means we use the platform of education. And he says, let's not wait to receive these students at the vocational level. Let's not wait for them at the university to teach our students. Let's have an impact at the foundation level where our kids can be identified early enough and we are able to move it. Thank you. And with those few remarks, allow me to welcome Dr. Daniel Karanja, representing the State Department for Science, Research, and Innovation. Thank you.
Colleagues, good morning. Good afternoon. Wonderful. Thank you so much. The VC, Dean, Egerton University, the President of DISES, Jennifer, and all the distinguished guests who are here. We are grateful to be part and parcel of this. Either way, I want to first start by apologizing because I was supposed to be part of the volunteer team, and but I sent a message to Cindy to excuse me yesterday because actually it's yesterday that I got a message that I was to represent the Principal Secretary who is attending an event in Ghana that is going on research excellence. So I hope my apology is taken for yesterday. But at least I sent someone and said, kindly, Dr. Gidaiga, I hope you are here. I requested that you play my part yesterday. Thank you. So this morning, I've also come with a friend of the Ministry of Research, Dr. Kamau Gadhi. You know, in African, men don't walk alone. So when I was told, I said, let us go together. Maybe you can help me when on the way there. So thank you so much. I'm going to read the speech of the Principal Secretary, and also I'm also going to give a direct message that he has also given me, because he recognizes that among the participants here are our agencies, the universities. I know, or he knows that we have a representation of very many universities here, Egerton University, Maseno University, Masinde Muriro, Rongo, Laikipia. He knows that. Actually, he had a conversation with the Vice Chancellor, and he was made aware of that. So he said, he also requires to give a direct message that we shall give at the end of his speech. So I'll begin with his speech. So this is a speech by the Principal Secretary, State Department for Science, Research and Innovation during the closing ceremony for the 2025 DISES International Conference held at Lake Naivasha Resort on 4th July 2025. And he begins. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is with great honor and heartfelt appreciation that I stand before you today as we draw the curtain on what has truly been a transformative 2025 DISES International Conference, held right here in the beautiful country of Kenya. On behalf of the government of Kenya and the newly established State Department for Science, Research and Innovation, I wish to extend our sincere gratitude to the Division of International Special Education and Services, DISES, Egerton University, the Kenya Institute of Special Education, and the Council for Exceptional Children for organizing this world-class event. Your decision to host this conference in Kenya is a strong vote of confidence in our country's growing leadership in inclusive education and collaborative research. From the engaging opening day at Kise on July 1st to our enriching sessions here at Lake Naivasha Resort over the past 3 days, this conference has truly lived up to its theme, Harambee, meaning all pulled together. We've seen just that a spirit of unity, shared learning, and global solidarity in advancing inclusive education for all. I think we have seen a lot of Harambee here, even in the past two presentations that we saw here, pulling together. So this year's conference has brought together educators, researchers, policy leaders, and advocates from across the world, each committed to ensuring that every learner, regardless of ability or background, experiences equity, dignity, and belonging. The conversations and partnerships fostered here reflect exactly the kind of inclusive and innovative collaboration that State Department for Science, Research and Innovation is mandated to promote. Let me take a moment to emphasize that Kenya is committed to strengthening its science, technology, and innovation. Ecosystem through multi-sectoral collaborations, institutional reforms, policy development, and research commercialization. The State Department for Science, Research and Innovation, established just 2 months ago through the Executive Order number 1 of 2025, was created with the clear mandate to promote science, research and innovation as key drivers of sustainable socio-economic development. We are determined to support evidence-based interventions, facilitate collaboration between academia, research institutions, industry, and government, and to strengthen the innovation ecosystem across Kenya's national and county levels. The objective of this conference are squarely aligned with our mission. As a department, we are ready to work with you to support the establishment of research hubs, encourage international collaborations, promote the integration of indigenous knowledge with modern innovation, and ensure that emerging technologies such as AI are applied ethically and inclusively to benefit learners with diverse needs. We are especially committed to creating the frameworks and partnerships needed to transform research into practice, including in the areas of special and inclusive education. By working closely with ministries, development partners, and civil society, State Department for Science, Research and Innovation aims to foster cross-sectoral, inclusive, and scalable solutions, just like those showcased throughout this conference. a community that reflects our dedication to. So, yeah, we are saying that to our international guests, thank you for bringing your expertise, your passion, and your voices. You are now part of a growing global community that Kenya is proud to host and support, which is a commitment that reflects our dedication to enhancing science, diplomacy, collaboration, and international cooperation. To the organizing teams, volunteers, and every single participant, our contributions have made this conference not only a success, but a model for how we should move forward, together with a purpose and compassion. As we close this chapter, let us remember that Harambee is more than a slogan. It is a way of working, of living, and of driving change. Please carry this spirit with you. Let it guide your research, your teaching, your leadership, and your advocacy. So the State Department for Science, Research, and Innovation stands ready to walk this journey with you. Together, we will continue to shape a future where science and education work hand in hand to ensure no learner is left behind. Asanteni sana. God bless you. So, friends and colleagues and our partners from the international community, that is a speech from the PS. But as I said from the beginning, the PS also sends a very direct message to all the ecosystem, the researchers, and the universities, that the newly established State Department is mandated to promote, drive, innovate the sector. So that in a way, we can feel that we are resuscitating the science, research, and innovation. He is encouraging all of us to study the Executive Order number 1 of 2025, which has clearly given the State Department a very huge mandate, about 12 key mandates. And in that, in a way, he believes that we are going to break the silos that have existed, the fragmentation, because that's actually one of the areas that he has noted has been bedeviling the sector. He wants all to work together. He wants all to collaborate, and in a way, ensure that the frameworks that we are designing in research are impact-driven, not activity-driven. He's saying that in a way, wherever you design the frameworks, let them be those ones that respond to the social innovations, whereby the research is responsive to the society, to the business, to the industry. The research that is led by the academia, because of course the quadruple model is what is being advocated across the board. Our friends will tell us they are already doing that. The questions of with whom and for whom are you doing this research for is very critical. And he is very commendable of Egerton University, because in the track of Egerton University, we can see how they've worked with the society, how they've worked with the government. When you look through the performance of Egerton in terms of research, he's able to track and find out programs and activities that the involvement of government has been done so well, and also the community. But still, he puts a very tough challenge to Egerton University, that you have a niche, and that niche, you should exploit it. And actually, he says he's coming, he's visiting. He's an alumni of Egerton University. He also started his career there as a DVC research. So possibly by next month, he's coming to see what is happening. As much as he's also moving to all the universities, particularly those universities that have a science, technology, innovation name under them. Because technically, those are words that mean a lot in terms of this docket. The docket is strategically placed at the Prime Cabinet Secretary's office with a purpose. It's not by fault. Most of the scholars that we have engaged with, they say, okay, so why did you move away from education? We are not moving away, we are part and parcel. But in a way, the positioning of that department there has a purpose. Because this is a very critical department that's supposed to, form very impactful policies and decisions. Kenya is not the only jurisdiction where this department is placed there. You go to our partners. They have strategically placed the research directorate divisions very close to the executive because of the clear mandate in issues to do with knowledge economy, in issues to do with the current development that everyone is talking about, the movement towards serious innovations and now the AI aspect. So those are critically things that have made this, His Excellency the President to make a decisions, get the best, because our PS, all of you know very well, he's an international scholar, someone who has been leading the International Atomic Energy Agency in Vienna. Someone who is able to relate so well with this sector for the last 10 years. So ideally, we know our challenges. We know the fragmentation. We know the issues of fund. Of course, the Science, Technology and Innovation Act allocated the 2%. We are not there. We are not there. But that's where we want to go. But he is also asking a question. The little that we are being given, we should be able to follow up and find out exactly what it has done and what value we have also added. So back to Egerton University. These are also items that you can list down from the ministry we are pursuing. One, we have a very transformative program that is coming to you beginning September, the digital pedagogy. There's a training. World Bank is facilitating that training with the government of Kenya. So that project or program will be beginning there to capacitate the professors in transformative digital pedagogy matters, and of course transform towards what we want. Number two, there are also projects that we are putting on table. The Horizon Europe, already some Egerton professors have attracted the ministry. We're already making a consortia, which is very good. We also are expecting to participate in the forthcoming AI week. But in next year, we are saying that the PS has already communicated very well. We shall have a national AI week. So whatever is happening at Egerton could be just a precursor to that. So colleagues and friends, we are grateful. We hope that our visitors have toured our country. You still have, I'm sure, some arrangement to get to our country. We are good people. We are people who love our visitors. And of course, make sure you don't go back without visiting our PS. Maybe if you can, although maybe a prof can also advise on that. Thank you so much, colleagues. Thank you.
So on behalf of DISES, we actually, I'm forgetting your colleague's name. Dr. John. Dr. John, would you also come up here? Robai and I would like to present you with a small gift from DISES. It's our signature merch is what we've been calling it. It is a DISES Kakoi, and we are just so grateful that you came, you spent time. And one of the exciting things that we've had with this conference is really the blending of the Ministry of Education, universities, so many universities present, teachers, different school groups and educational groups. It is really phenomenal, and it's because all of you took your time out to come and be part of these conversations. So,
thank you so very much. It's a familiar cloth, but it is signature.
Yes, yes. All right, so thank you so much. Okay, we'll just, here.
Yeah.
There we go.
Asante.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Oh, here we go. Okay. I always put the wrong password. Oh, I did it right. Oh, all of us. Okay. And so while we're taking the photo, I will just give you the prompt, which speaks very much to what Dr. Karanje was just speaking about with, oh, come up, yeah, with how we can really amplify this idea of Harambee, which is a way of life, as he put it, which I think is really important. So if you want to think about that, and we'll take our picture. Okay, so once again, we can revisit if you wrote in your program on day one anything that you were hoping to get from the conference. I had given you that recommendation to write a few notes, and maybe take a look at that. Maybe take a look at your reflections from day two, where we talked about the journey, visiting schools, and everything that had happened in day one. You can look at yesterday's notes that you took by going to the breakout sessions. We didn't all come together yesterday, but yes. And then think about the conference as a whole. One of the things that we really wanted to make sure that we at least encouraged everyone to think about was sustainability. And so how can we really live out these ideas of all pulling together for the belonging of all groups? So I'll just give you a few minutes to talk at your table, and then we'll see if anybody does want to share. Okay? All right. Okay, my arms are, I can't do that.
I did the same thing when I first bought those things. What's it called? Oops. I didn't know what it was, how I labeled that.
All right, well, I think we just made the announcement. Let me see. Where did you go? Oh, because I need this in here in order. Oh, I know. You plug it this way.
Right,
That.
so it's not plugged into the...
Yes, we'll get that.
We'll get it.
My brain is ready for a break.
No, actually, it's Kenya presentation. We didn't announce it. We sort of did, but we didn't.
Well, now, yeah, because the mic's right here. And I'm not down there to volunteer anyone, so.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm here up to tomorrow. I leave tomorrow. Okay. Have you...
All right, so let's bring everyone back to the whole group. And finally, I can't get everyone to stop talking. Guess what? There'll be more time actually to talk more about all these great ideas at lunch. If I could have you come back together. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hear it quieting down. I can't clap with one hand. All right, so which table would like to go first on sharing a little bit about how they plan to create a sustainable plan? Let me see. My problem is I wear glasses for close-up and far away, so is that Rudia that I see over there raising her hand?
Thank you, LaSharge.
All right, so she's going to share.
So after the first and the second day, one of my goals was
let's be respectful while we have someone sharing from the audience, please.
One of my goals was to make intentional connections in order to continue to do the work and what's next. And so I was telling Christine's here at the table that they were part of my goal. And I had intentionally wrote down in my plan to email them. I have, their contact information and something specific to coordinate and collaborate on and to find supports and resources. And there are others probably in the audience as well that we've shared contact information in order to continue to follow work, not just when I go back home, but also making connections here in Kenya to be able to see how I can be able to collaborate and partner with individuals here.
Excellent, excellent. All right. Did I see that Abby wanted to share?
Thank you for saying that because we were actually finishing our conversation. We talked a lot about schools as a whole need to be on the same page. So, for example, myself, I'm coming back to my school having all of this knowledge that my colleagues haven't or did not have. So I could share this. Maybe we could have a professional development where we can all be on the same page about special education. So that's my plan.
Thank you. Fenice, did you want to share too? Oh, there we go.
Thank you very much. I'm Dr. Oktoi Joel from Maseno University in Kenya. In our group, we have looked at the various ways in which we can meet all that. Number one, we have discussed as we continue on, for us to be able to continue with this dialogue and conversation, we need to continue with the issue of collaborative research. We need to continue working together and collaborating in research between the South and the North in inclusive education. Number two, we have talked about awareness on disability. For this youth with disability to be accepted at the family level, at the community level, at school level, we need to change the attitude. Attitude is the biggest barrier to inclusive education. And once we change the attitude, it is through a creation of awareness. Number 3, we have agreed we must sustain or retooling of our teachers in schools. Our teachers need to be retooled, to be in service or inclusive pedagogies. Then we need to as in Kenya, there's an issue on resources. We have to think of innovative ways of working towards the resources, towards inclusive education. And the other was on stakeholder approach, where we should use all stakeholders, the government, partners, and the non-governmental organizations to ensure we do support our youth and those families with disabilities. I think those were the key points we have discussed.
As always, you've been very thorough. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Do I see any actual hands up? I've just been calling on people, but any table want to share any other ideas that maybe haven't been mentioned? Oh, thank you. Afia.
I wrote the advocating for special education, and I think from day one, I think voicing out the opinion, voicing out the important voices in our community. So voicing out the struggles caregivers are talking about in working in having special ed, in having special needs children. And I also believe that one of my goals was to read more books on special education as I continue into my career. So yeah.
All right, thank you. So what I heard, oh, thank you very much, yeah. So we have one more. Daniel would like to, or I'm
Yeah, thank you. We looked at how to make these impacts continue. And our first point was that we need to work on our culture change, and this will bring a positive attitude towards this. And then we had a genuine mainstreaming of special needs among the youth. We also had implementation of policies relating to inclusivity. We also have implementing AI inclusively, that is artificial intelligence, by removing any biases or prejudices that may exist, and also carrying out impactful research that and disseminating the findings effectively. Thank you.
Thank you so much. These are all such important things.
Yeah.
So,
maybe before we move there, there is a gap we saw this morning about the data. There is a gap in terms of correcting right data, correct data disaggregated according to disability categories, according to special needs. So there is a research gap that needs to be addressed. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so, okay, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. My name is Alice Omariba from Ranga University of Technology. In our group, we have said that there is need to, the organizations, people who are enabled differently so that they can reach out to their communities, and because disability is not an inability. Then the youth can also collaborate with those organizations for purposes of motivation so that they can grow. Retooling of teachers, and there is also developing a framework to empower the parents and communities so that they embrace, they don't hide those children that are enabled differently. And this calls to the ministry to do something about the implementation of the policies that are on paper and are not being implemented, especially on the ground. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That's a good way to end this part. And I just want to say thank you for all the groups who engaged and also shared. I'm going to just take a quick moment to thank all of the people who really sponsored and supported this conference happening in the way that it happened. So that would be University of Massachusetts Lowell, University of San Diego, Edu Africa, KISE, and Egerton and DISES. We all worked together to make sure that things went smoothly, and I just feel so honored to be a part of it. I'd also like to mention Lake Nyavasha Resort, who has worked tirelessly to make sure the rooms are ready, changed over. The food, which has been delicious, has been ready when we needed it. KISE for the buses. But Lake Nyavasha Resort, actually on these papers that you have on your tables right now, you'll see a QR code. And they asked me to remind you that that's a great place to give feedback. They're always trying to grow as well. So if you have any ideas for how they could improve experiences for other people, if you would please take a moment and give that feedback there. It seems like a great place. Now Jen is going to take over on the Getting Involved in DISES.
I just want to reiterate everything that Rebecca said. Thank you to all of our partners, all of our attendees, our hosts as far as Lake Nyavasha Resort and Safari Park Hotel and the other hotels and resorts that people are staying at. I mentioned at the first day the welcome message that we really hope that you leave here having learned from each other, shared ideas, but mostly that you come away with a renewed sense of purpose. And so I hope that all of you feel that at some level and leave here with new partners, new ideas, new strategies, and just new passion for this work that we are doing. As I mentioned before, we cannot do this alone. This is a partnership, a collaboration, and so everyone here in this room, we are doing the work and we will continue to do the work. It is a journey. Oh, is that better? Okay. So thank you again, everyone. Just a couple of things before I know everyone's on edge about our big announcement for next year. But if you are interested in getting involved in DISES, I've had several people come up and ask me, how can you get involved in DISES? We will have some board positions opening up for next year, starting in 2026. Those announcements will be made later this year, and you can nominate yourself or you can nominate somebody else. So these are the positions that we'll have open. And then we also have many committees. As we know, we as a board are a small group, and we really, really rely on the work of our members, the expertise of our members, the passion and the willingness of our members to volunteer. So we have a lot of different committees that you can get involved in. These are all opportunities to, again, collaborate. And I'm scared to do the next slide because I don't know what's on it. Rebecca, I don't know if there's the QR code or if there's something else that I don't want to show yet. So, should I just unplug it? And I don't know where she is. Okay, I don't want to put the next slide yet because I don't know what's on it, the next slide. Right, I know. Okay, well, for that slide, we're safe. So, oops. Okay. Now how do I get this back? There we go. So here is the QR code. If you would like to get more involved with DISES. I do want to say just real quickly, I know that to be a member, DISES is part of a division of a much larger organization. That organization requires you to be a paid member of CEC as well as of DISES, and we understand that that is a big cost barrier for our international members. So we have worked with the CEC executive director in the past, and will continue to work with them to make make it more accessible for our international colleagues who would like to be a part of DISES and CEC. And so we will continue to communicate that. But if you would like to be involved with DISES, you can get more information here. And we have Afia. Just like to share, just for a quick minute, about student engagement.
Thank you for giving me the platform to share. So on behalf of the graduate students and doctoral students and those in any student positions, I bring them together as a student committee, and we find ways to keep our students engaged. So in honor to represent the graduate and doctoral students and the student engagement, the youth and adults with disabilities, we come together to advocate for daily continues to be one of the most underrepresented population in our communities. Many voices are yet shut. Many voices are shut, yet live in silence with talents that are incredible and beyond human capacity. A child with autism, as we all know, can remember every important date in his or her life. A girl with Down syndrome can dance without warning the audience for her skills, and a child with cerebral palsy can give you the best smile. So as a team, we come together and we put in how we can show best ways to support our youth and our children with disabilities, and our adults as well. So we continue to face challenges at school than of a developing child with a recognized disability, yet it is a rewarding job career. We advocate for parents of a special need child facing compounding challenges that creates many barriers in their parenting journey. So how do we do that? We come together to publish articles, we come together to showcase in different conferences and in different communities. At DISES, we work together to build resources for pre-service teachers and educational leaders to provide various supports to special education services across the world. 35 years of this work just began. There are many rights to advocate for, more inclusivity to yearn for, and most significantly, more collaboration to attain for a better special education field. Thank you. And if you have any questions, I can be here or I can be outside. Thank you.
Thank you, Afia. A couple other things. So this is a link to the photo album, the shared drive. People have been putting pictures in. So please add your pictures and browse through the pictures that have been shared there. I'll move out of the way so people can scan it. It's also the QR code is also on the table outside if you need that, but great opportunity to share pictures from this time together. Okay, so again, just with gratitude, I'm going to just give the microphone to Robai for a moment, and then to Flora and David to share our closing thoughts, and then I'll pass it over to Cheryl, who will talk about DISES 2026.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of DISES and on behalf of our partners in Kenya, Egerton University and KISE, I want to thank you for making time to be with us here. This has been a special project for me as a child of Kenya, and who went to school in Kenya, and actually Egerton University is my alma mater. And as a special educator living in the United States, it has been really something that I wanted to do for us so we can come together, because as a child of Kenya, I understand that there is good work going on within the country. But as Dr. Karanja, you mentioned, we are working in silos. So I hope that by bringing DISES here and inviting so many of the stakeholders across the country to collaborate here, that it marks the beginning of collaboration, because our students with special needs need that collaboration. Special education cannot be done by one group, and when we speak with each other, we can have a larger impact. But I also knew that that impact has to come from, the leadership has to come from top down. So it's really my wish or my prayer that the Ministry of Education, and this is the message I'm passing to you, Dr. Karanja, that we'll be able to facilitate this collaboration, that we are no longer working in silos, because it is great work going on here. And on a personal level, as a Kenyan-born scholar, we want to come back and give back. We do. And I'm not the only one here. I can assure you that right here in this conference, we have about Kenyan-born scholars that are in the United States, working in the United States, but would like to come back. But there is lack of accessibility. So on behalf of the Kenyan scholars who work outside the country for special needs, I would ask that the ministry facilitate ways in which you can tap into the expertise and we can come back home and give back. So again, thank you, the international community, for making time to share your experiences and your expertise with our Kenyan community. And from here, I'm hoping that a lot of collaborations and connections were made that would help continue the work. Thank you so very much.
Just look at your partner and just give a smile. Wherever you're seated, look at your partner and just give that beautiful smile of DISES. Thank you so much. You are very good at instructions. And that is why I love DISES. And that is why I love everybody in this room. The first day I met our international guests, there is something I passed over across to the person who was seated to me. And I said, wow, they carry a lot of laughter and smile and happiness. And I think it is a very beautiful seed that you have sowed, that everybody in and outside this room is saying, wow, it was worth coming for this conference. And what amazed us more was on day one, which I want the representative of the PS to take to the PS. On day one, 3/4 or nearly everybody in the room were our visitors who had actually come. Can we give a clap to our leaders? When my VC, Vice Chancellor, came to open the day, he added another word. You mean all these visitors have come, and we are not there? And I said, VC, we are there because you also paid to ensure that all the disability mainstreaming members from Egerton were also paid for. And I thanked him for us. So thank you for the seed you have sowed in Kenya. It's a unique seed that you came from very far and you made us meet one another when we have been working in different corners. That now as you leave, I can easily pick a call and call Sanoe from Kise, and call Jennifer from Kise, and call my PS from the ministry, and call all the colleagues from Kenya. Diocese, thank you, board members, for what you have sowed for Kenya.
We didn't know the magnitude of how you do things. Where we messed, we are sorry. But there is no messing in life. It is always a bright line, the way we learn every day. A few of my colleagues are in this room. I want them to stand up, but they'll not say anything for one reason. May I see all the colleagues from all the universities who are in the room? I know one or two left. Thank you so much. You can sit. Yeah. The reason why I'm making them stand up is for diocese, as you go back home, you realize that you brought all of us here. These are representative of all the universities in Kenya. And you can be sure as you go, we are going to do so much together. But we are still going to reach you out. When you see us calling, don't say they are disturbing us. When you sow a seed, usually we say you need to assist to water it, isn't it? We have learned so much. I appreciate each one of you in a special way, which Egerton University cannot. I'm just going to call Dr. Haemba. Are you in the room? Just come in. Egerton, through the Vice Chancellor, only had a few, just to keep the laughter going for our diocese board members. We wish to have given you everything, but you will get our smiles as part of our... So, Haemba, just come. I'm going to request Jennifer and a few of your board members to just come in the room to receive a bag of thank you as you continue to ensure you come back to Africa and to Kenya to ensure that what you have sowed is still moving. The lady coming is in charge of University Disability Mainstreaming Section. She's our main coordinator. And on behalf of Egerton University and all our members here, she's the one giving our presents from the Vice Chancellor to our board members. So we have Rebecca. You just greet. Yeah, the hug. Just move in the middle there. Thank you so much. Just pick. Jennifer. Rabbi. Cindy. Let me ask you. Terry. Cheryl. And with that, we are saying, Egerton University loves you. We wish we had 10 buses to send all of you to Egerton University to take our yogurt, but we are going to see you soon. Thank you and travel safe.
Bring it. We also have one more board member here. I want to recognize Afia, our student Engagement Officer.
For you, I have handed officially to you because you are growing the international flag.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, so now we're going to move into, did we do the? Okay. Oh. We're going to move, we're going to move into, Cheryl, if you want to stay up here. The big announcement.
That's okay. Are we? Just go ahead. So, okay. All right. So I get to make the big announcement, which is where we are going to have our conference next year, which will be Cusco, Peru. Oh, and this is the logo that we will be using. So it's from the Andes to the world, empowering education for inclusive societies. And Yashai is the word that's in the middle. That is the Quechua, or the indigenous language in Peru. That's their word for learning and wisdom. So let me play you a little video. Is the sound not? Oh, it's probably not on. Excuse us a moment. We'll get you some sound to that so you can hear Peruvian music too. Will you do? So the partner that we will be working with in Peru is FNE International. And this is, oh, okay, because we'll need the sound. And FNI is a nonprofit out of the United States that partners with communities in Nicaragua, Peru, and the Dominican Republic to advance sustainable development through housing, health, education, and agriculture. It works hand in hand with local leaders. F&E co-creates lasting solutions and fosters cross-cultural understanding through volunteer engagement. Its mission is rooted in equity, dignity, and community-led change. The name says it all. The F&E stands for Facilitate, Network, Empower. So to give you a few snapshots of what we've done in education and F&E, and I do my work with F&E International, is we do both virtual and in-person workshops. And we do it with teachers, parents, communities, therapists. One of the places that we go to that's not far from Cusco is Calca, is where we've held a lot of the in-person, and that's because it's the closest for the teachers that are having to travel up and over the Andes to get there as far as transportation. So many of these teachers that you see there have traveled at least 10 hours to get to a workshop. Lima is the capital of Peru, and if you come and you want to spend some time, there are things you can do in Peru, and these are just a few. There's the historic center, the Plaza Mayor. There's colonial churches and balconies, and there's cuisine. Miraflores is near the beach area, and you could go to the Larco Museum. And here are just some pictures of the Lima area. And the last one is the Peruvian drink. It's made out of, pisco sour. Pisco is an alcoholic drink that's there in Peru. So for those who like to drink alcohol, you may want to try pisco sour. Cusco is where we will be, and that's in the Sacred Valley area of Peru. It's the heart of the Inca Empire and the gateway to Machu Picchu. You can wander, there's cobblestone roads, streets in Cusco, and Coricancha is an area you can visit. There's lots of markets and gifts. One area that we could possibly go to is Pisac. And you can take the scenic train to Machu Picchu if you wanted to do that as something while you're in the country. And this is me at Machu Picchu last summer, because I brought a colleague along with me. You might, if you're driving along the roads, in the back roads, you might run across a herd of alpacas. And that's the center plaza of Cusco. Okay. Can we plug in the sound? This is Maria, who's one of the friends that we have from Wakawasi, which is a remote community in Cusco. Oops, we lost the thing there. And she's worked with us. We visited her, and when we go to remote areas of Peru. Okay. Yeah. And she's going to say, "Welcome to Cusco" in both Quechua. She will speak in Quechua, which is her native language, and in Spanish. So go ahead and start the video. Oops. we have to get into the slideshow.
Yes. So we are going to do our raffle, and then our final words will be from Dr. Wamakuru, and then we'll be dismissed for lunch. And please, we do have sessions this afternoon, so please do attend the sessions. So our first item is from Peru. This little bag here. Do you want to pull a name, Cheryl? Yep. Ibrahim, are you still here? Ibrahim. Ibrahim and Paul have been helping, volunteering their time to help with tech support. Ibrahim and his colleague Paul, thank you so much. Thank you. Muchas gracias. Our next item is handmade from Maria, the woman that you saw. This is a koozie for your cup, your mug. This is made from alpaca. And we have Phyllis Muni. I want to make sure I'm saying the last name. All right, Phyllis. Congratulations. Thank you. You're welcome. We have two more items. We have one of these DISES t-shirts that were for sale, and we're raffling off one of them for Brian Thornton. All right, Brian. And our final item, congratulations, Brian, is a $100 discount to our conference for next year. So if you are the winner for this, I'll have you fill.
Meetings, a lot of commitments, and we really thank our co-chair, Rebecca, and Robai, and the entire team for the commitment. And also we appreciate the Kenyan team, the KISE team, at the Egerton University, the team I was co-sharing. They were very committed, and that's what has made this conference what it is, and the success we have seen. Let us appreciate all involved in making this conference a success. Thank you so much. We really appreciate our managers and our invited guests and our partners, starting with the PS State Department of Higher Education, Dr. Beatrice Inyangara, who sent a representative by the name Dr. Karo Huja, who opened the conference. We also appreciate the National Council for UNESCO Kenya, James, Mr. James. Then we have National Council for Persons with Disability. They were represented here. Titus Diego represented them. We are very happy. The National Research Fund, Professor Dixon Adara was here, and he made a lot of commitment, and goodwill as a partner, we really appreciate. We appreciate the PS, State Department of Research, Science and Innovation, who sent a representative by the name Dr. Daniel Karaja. We appreciate Dr. Daniel Karaja, and a message to our peers we really appreciate, and we are looking forward to this partnership. Out of this conference, we are expecting to come up with policy briefs and the policy recommendations that are going to affect and improve the way we deal with people with special needs. All of us have interest in special needs, and we really want to thank you, because many of us may not have the special needs, but we have the heart of the compassionate heart of the people with special needs. Let us appreciate ourselves. Among ourselves, we have people with special needs. We would like you to know we are our brothers and sisters, and we love you so much. And we'll work with you, and we'll do research, we'll present papers, and we'll look for partnership to ensure that the gaps that are there, it was very clear from their presentations. There are a lot of gaps in policy implementation and the way we deal with inclusion and the issue of belonging, making them feel that they belong in the workplace, in the society. I think this is one of our core goals. And when this will be achieved, I think we'll be very happy. So thank you so much. We appreciate all other partners who have participated, even the COEREB team, who are mainstreaming for us, the KISE team streaming for us back in KISE. They were very committed. We were very happy when we were hosted in KISE. Dr. Jennifer Makero, Daniel Sanoi, and the team, we are really appreciative. And we want to say, on behalf of Egerton University, on behalf of our Vice Chancellor, we are grateful, and we are looking forward for partnership. So we are going to have discussions on how we'll take this partnership to the next level with all those partners. So we are going to create that platform, and we want to wish everybody a good stay in Kenya. For our visitors, make sure you don't go very fast. Remain in Kenya. We are friendly people. We welcome you. We show you around, and we feel that you are part of us. And therefore, when you are around, don't feel stranded. We are now friends. We are brothers. I am happy. I've made many friends and partnerships in this particular conference. I think each one of us have made friends, and you have created partnership. Let us appreciate ourselves. Thank you so much. With those few remarks, because of time, I want to conclude the thanks and the attendees who are coming from different organizations, from the universities. All those who attended feel that you are appreciated. My final announcement from Egerton, those who are making their payment through Egerton University account, especially those from Kenya, kindly, if you'd like to have your receipt, kindly see me over lunch hour, and after lunch, we will give you a receipt, and so that you are able to account for your resources if that need be. And in case you have any query, feel free to see me anytime. Thank you so much. Back to the President. Let us appreciate our President. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Please get your lunch ticket from Rebecca. There's one last round of sessions at 1:30, and then enjoy your excursions. You have to safe travels if you're traveling tonight or tomorrow. Thank you, thank you, thank you.